Hi, this is a real quick run through of one of the components that I was working on as part of a team for the OKB Hope Foundation website. The component I was placed in charge of is this set of thumbnails here that show a doctor's picture along with his name and credentials that when you click on it leads to a display of the doctor's full photograph along with their name, credential, biography, list of specialties, and list of experiences on its own directed web page. The other aspect to this component is they wanted to have a featured set of doctors at the top of the page, then some success story quotes in the middle, and the rest of the doctors listed down at the bottom or below the success story quotes. So that's what the final product looks like. Our team is using React for the front end, and they've chosen to use Strapi for the back end. This is my first time using Strapi, so I'm going to walk you through Strapi first. So for the database in Strapi, we created a biography component, or I created a biography component that included the name of the doctor, their credential, their biography, a picture, a Boolean attribute to say whether they are in that top group of doctors or not. And then Strapi has these cool dynamic zone things that I chose to use for list of specialties and list of experiences within the biography. So that's basically the way the component is set up, and then entered a bunch of fake doctors within here to get that to show up here. All right, so in my code, first off, some of the names of variables and routes are a little bit messed up because it's been interesting in the process working with their designer. Every time somebody meets with him, the directions change a little bit. So originally, those those thumbnails weren't supposed to click and go to a biography. So halfway through, we changed what was going on. So the variables don't make much sense right now. We'll probably go back and clean that up later. Right now, there is a separate route set up for that page called the doctor's page with all of the doctor's thumbnails. And then I set up a separate individual biographies with a wildcard ID and a component here that we'll talk about in a second. But I'm going to start on the biographies component of the doctors. I ended up creating two components, one for the upper biographies that's just called top biopics, and then one for the lower ones called lower biopics. They're both essentially the same code. We're using style sheets on our team, so I use the style sheets to create that thumbnail image with the overlay of the doctor's name and credential. You can see how that works out. There's an image container along with the image, and I just use very specific styling because they had a very specific look they were looking for. Okay, and then we're working in React, so I used the use state hook and the use effect hook. The use state hook to work with the biographies, and then the use effect to grab all the data from Strapi. And this was an interesting experience because